Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 2015's first edition of the I'm Only Serious News Network Sunday Paper program. In this week's news, we'll do a wrap-up of 2014 and some of the things that have happened over that time and some of the people who are no longer with us after that. Of course, we'll also have Smarmy's Brown Eye on the World, Darren's movie views and reviews, and Tony Viejo's Misled Thoughts. And he's going to be introducing a new segment which will start with us in the coming broadcasts as we get set for the 2016 presidential elections. Yeah, why not? Everybody else is. And if we're lucky before the night's out, maybe even John Rice will come in and give us a gamer update if he's not too hungover from New Year's. But these stories and more on this week's edition of the I'm Only Serious News Network Sunday Paper program.
It's the I'm Only Serious News Network with Dan Mahan, John Smarmy, Tony Viejo, and Darren Martinez.
Well, here in review of 2014, we had many celebrity deaths, and in my view, the biggest one was Robin Williams, one of my favorite actors and comedians of my lifetime. He just wasn't very happy, apparently. Took his own life, which shame on him. He should have been living mine. Joan Rivers succumbed to her many surgeries finally, and she passed away, as well as another actor, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yep. Another guy who wasn't happy enough with all the shit he had going for him, and overdosed. Joe Cocker. Yes, Joe Cocker. Although near the end of 2014, did die in 2014. A famous British singer. Pugsley, from the 60s TV show Addams Family, also left us last year. As well as Richard Kiel, the man who played Jaws in a James Bond movie and was also the tall, crazy guy in Happy Gilmore movies. James Garner of the Rockford Files and Maverick. Richard Attenborough, who was the park owner of Jurassic Park, also passed. Radio's Top 40, Casey Kasem. Yep, he's now in the top 40 of people who left us in 2014. He went out with a bang. Ann B. Davis, who was the nanny of the Brady Bunch. Yep, in case you didn't remember that, she left us. Bob Hoskins of the Roger Rabbit fame. You remember Bob Hoskins? WWF's The Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, he was a young one. He was only like 54 when he passed last year. A few comics passed away. David Brenner from Philadelphia. As well as Sid Caesar. He's a little older. One of the big losses in the comedy world for as far as movies go was, of course, Harold Ramis, whose films included Stripes, Caddyshack, Animal House, Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters, some of the many classics of our time. And actor John Waite, better known as Mr. Walton. Yes, he said his last goodnight, John Boy, in 2014. One other one I guess I'll throw in there was also Russell Johnson, the professor from Gilligan's Island. Yes, finally free of that damned island. He's on cloud 9 now, stuck there. The five biggest discoveries of 2014. Number one, the iOS news. Thank you very much. Yes, although we were here at the end of 2013, as being pointed out by my very own Smarmy there in the background. But 2014 was our first full season. We thank you for those of you 6 to 7 people out there who watch. Number two, though, a California couple discovered a pot buried in their yard in 2014 with over $10 million in gold coins, dated back to the 19th century. Can you believe that? That should get you out there digging in your yard. NASA's rover took a picture of a rock that resembles a thigh bone. Oh, on Mars. Of course, it is a thigh bone, but NASA is trying to tell us it's a rock. But if you've seen the pictures, you know a thigh bone because it's connected to the hip bone, which is connected to the knee bone, and so forth and so on. Also, large holes. Number 4 was large holes are discovered in Siberia where they couldn't get any drilling equipment. These things are massive. Some of them go down hundreds and hundreds of feet. Look like they've been drilled out. I don't know. It could be aliens. According to the ancient alien astronaut theorist, that's a group of 6 people who have a TV show and always refer to themselves as some huge group. Also, the bones of England's King Richard III were discovered in 2014. Yeah, buried under a paved parking lot. He was their famous king from the William Shakespeare stories. That's who he was. Biggest news stories. Malaysian Airlines lost 3 jetliners in 2014. Who the fuck is flying that airline? Cracker, please. One was just recent, which they're discovering the parts of it in the Java Sea. Another one was shot down over Ukraine, over the rebel-held areas. Yeah, that was a disaster. And of course the main one, Flight 370, which went down in March, the beginning of March of 2014, has not yet been found. Talk about a Bermuda Triangle. Speaking of terror, the group ISIS came to be known around the world in 2014. Yeah, them hump bastards from over in the Middle East. Yeah, they are in the process of trying to drag America back into Middle East wars. Also, the war, speaking of wars, the war in Ukraine has Russia acting like the German Nazis of World War II. You know, just want to take a little piece of ground here and that's all we want. More like Steve Martin, a jerk, as they continue to grab more and more ground, right? And that's it. That's the last thing we need. And the year of violence also continued with the NFL and the Ray Rice controversy, knocking his bitch out. Now, video didn't capture she had it coming, but, you know, needless to say, a strong athlete like that. Of course, all was well that ends well, as they say, since she married him a few days after the knockout blow. You know what I mean? Crack it, please. What else do we have? The Ebola virus. Yes, the Ebola virus, the deadly African disease. Also, number 6 and 7 in the biggest news stories was the police shooting of an unarmed black man in Ferguson, Missouri, and the stranglehold death of a Lucy cigarette salesman in New York. Oh yeah. Yeah, well, can't be selling cigarettes without a license. Of course, there was also the Pocono cop killer manhunt that went on for a few months before they captured that hump-ass bastard. Number 9 top story 2014 was the Ice Bucket Challenge. You remember that? The Ice Bucket Challenge, which, how that raised funds, I still don't have a clue. But apparently people went dumping ice on each other and it helped out a charity. And number 10 top story 2014 was the Eagles die off, falling out of the playoff race. Which is why I'm wearing this jersey in honor of them right now. But to wrap up with this part of the news, 2015 predictions. So get your pens out, folks, because these are ones you can bank on. Number 1, the Cowboys will lose in the playoffs and will come in last in the NFC East next year. Yeah, you can bet that one. Number 2, the Eagles will win the NFC East on their way to a Super Bowl run. I didn't say win, run. Besides, the Super Bowl will be in 2016 next one coming up. Number 3, a new war in the Middle East will be the start of Armageddon. Actually, it'll be the new war in the U.S. politics that will happen, not the Middle East yet. And starting our own Armageddon now, no doubt about it. Number 4, Green Bay will win the Super Bowl this year. And number 5, Oregon will be the first playoff tested NCAA Division I team to win the football championship. Our very own Chip Kelly's own old college. Number 6, I will upgrade my cell phone to the 21st century. Yeah, yes. Going to be this old hump. That one you can count on. Number 7, black cops will start killing unarmed white boys. Oh yeah. And whites will go on looting. With their MasterCards and Visas, of course. Yeah. We do it differently. Number 8, the world's scientists won't find a cure for Ebola. But they will come up with an expensive medicine to allow you to live with it. Yeah. Hello, HIV. Number 9, Jim Carrey will make Ace Ventura 3. Yes. Yes. And number 10, folks, the iOS News will win a Wit Out Award this year. Yes, we will. Thank you. So I hope you test us on that come the end of the year and see how many of these predictions come true. But for some stories on the news, let me bring our very own Smarmy up the bat with his brown eye on the world. Smarmy.
Thanks, Dad. Alright, so we haven't been here in a few weeks. I actually wrote this 3 weeks ago, so most of this stuff is not really topical, but I was on vacation. And I'm also sick too. What I do with my business with my throat is nobody's business. Alright? So, a man named Sean Bopes poses as a Victoria's Secret rep to get underwear photos for women. This is just genius. I wish I thought of that. This gentleman should be rewarded, not punished. I mean, who has the balls to do that, folks? LeBron James touched that cake chick in a picture, and now it's a big outrage of last year. Who cares? Who are these people, God? I would like to see an interracial cuckold film with LeBron James, Kate, and Prince William while he eats the gunk out of her you-know-what. This is supposed to be a family show, but you know what? We gotta boost the ratings. Timmy Light told me he's watching this right now. Tim, I know you're watching. Andrea Hutzler leaves dog poop filled box for thieves. And thieves took this box, they opened it up. Well, they were shit out of luck, folks. Shit out of luck. The segment's so bad, even Dan Mahan left the show. But it's okay, folks. I can still carry it. A magician gets out of a speeding ticket after performing a magic trick for the police officers. Hello, wizard. That's inside. People were outraged. They said he didn't have to show his boobs. You call it white privilege, folks. I call it talent. That was a good magic trick with the Rubik's Cube, whatever that thing is. And finally, a man with 2 penises writes a book, and he tells on his new memoir. And I have so many questions that need to be answered. Like, does one penis get a boner? Or do both get hard at the same time? Do both shoot put it at the same time? Or does one shoot one and then one shoot the other? And does this penis situation of having 2 penises work better for obese women? These questions and more will be asked and answered as he joins us next week on this show. That's right, our first guest of all, he flew all the way from Illinois, a man with 2 penises. He will not be able to show it. And speaking of dicks, I've been a dick for the last 3 minutes. Dan, what else is on this show? John Smarmy, I'm only serious news.
Thank you, Smarmy. I guess that man is known as a dickhead. Yeah, he's got 2 of them. Alright, well, next up for us, folks, the next segment is our very own Darren Martinez with his movie views and reviews. Let's see what he's got for us this week. Darren, what's happening?
Thanks, Dan. So, last year, a lot of good movies, a lot of stinkers. Let's hope the next year, we have some good ones, some really good ones. Anyway, we haven't been, we haven't done a couple episodes in a while since the Christmas one. I've seen a couple films since then. Saw Night at the Museum 3, and I got to say goodbye to Robin Williams theatrically, in a sense.
How was that?
It was good, it was fun. It was, I never saw the first 2, so I didn't know what to expect, but it was a family-friendly film,
He plays a good role in there. I like his role.
Yeah. And, Ben Stiller's funny, he's always a good character actor. And,
yeah.
He plays a character in there, a caveman, that was really funny. So that was fun watching him do that.
Oh, he does that part too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw Big Hero 6 today, as an animated film by Disney. And
didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it reminded me of The Incredibles. It was very fast-paced, full of action, and dare I say, maybe even better. I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, it was, yeah. So that's why the first film I'm going to recommend you guys go check out, if you're going to go see Big Hero 6 or are interested in it, is go watch The Incredibles, because they're comparable. I mean, this one's a family of superheroes, and the other one's a friend, a group of friends that become superheroes. So, it's different dynamics. And,
6 of them, I guess, then. That's weird.
Yeah, there's 6 of them. There's 5 of them and a robot. So it's fun. It's a fun film, and I recommend everyone go check that out. Then I went to a friend's house, and I tried to watch The Interview. Yeah. And I made it like 25 minutes in, and I had to give up. I couldn't get into it. I thought it wasn't that funny. And it sucks because I like those guys. I like Franco and Rogan. And that's why I want to recommend the second film. Go check out Pineapple Express, because this is a fun film where, they play fun characters, and it's just it's a ride. It's full of action, comedy, and
It's
this
a weird one, right?
yeah. In an interview, it's like at this point they're so over the top. Like I think they forgot how to act. Like I don't know. It's just kind of like I just couldn't buy it. So I don't know what the big deal is now that I finally saw it. But good for them for marketing it in the way that they did and got to make money.
They probably hacked Sony themselves.
Yeah, who knows? So third, I always see these trailers. It's for a film called Jupiter Ascending. It's made by the Wachowski brothers, the guys who made The Matrix, which is the third film I want to recommend you guys go
That's
check
one of my
out.
favorite trilogies.
Yeah, go check out the trailer for Jupiter Ascending. It stars Channing Tatum, which a lot of people don't like, for obvious reasons, because he plays a stripper type, and he's dumb. He plays that dumb type of role. And Mila Kunis, who a lot of people don't like because she's got like a weird voice, and she's would say she's not that good of an actress, but she was in Black Swan and she did an excellent performance, got a lot of attention in that one. So to each his own.
What movies are coming out in 2015 that you're looking forward to?
Well, the one I'm looking forward to more than anything else is the obvious Magic Mike 2. And that's because, Avengers 2, obviously, Avengers 2 is my number one film. I can't wait. Because Avengers, the first one, is still one of my favorite films I've ever seen. Just a great ride, fun, filled with action. I probably said that for, like 12 times in this segment already. So anyway, let's wrap that up, and we'll see what comes next week. I'm going to check out Taken 3.
Taken 3.
Or as it's titled, TAC 3N. Because now they're putting the numbers... Instead of E's, they're putting the 3's, and so TAC 3N I'm gonna watch, starring Liam Neeson, and we'll see how that is. Back to you, Dan.
All right, thank you, Darren. And Liam Neeson, his next film is going to be Taken Away, where they take away his parental rights. Christ, how many times can you lose your child and still keep making movies? Well, next up for us, folks, is our very own Tony Viejo with his misled thoughts. Tony?
Thanks, Dan.
Wait.
All right, guys. Back. You're back. We're all back. 2014 has happened. What did we learn from 2014? One, a place in Africa gets a disease that's insanely deadly. Everyone loses their minds. Like, I don't know. Kim Kardashian's had sex with more people this year that died of Ebola. All right? That's not saying a lot. She may have had sex with a lot of people. Let me just backtrack that. Pope Francis has had more sex with people that have gotten Ebola. Speaking of Pope Francis, in 2017, he will come out as an atheist. Think about it. This has been the best pope in my lifetime, possibly Dan's lifetime. I'm not sure how he feels about the pope, but in my opinion, this pope is bar none great. Okay with gays, okay with science, okay with a lot of things, helped ease tensions between the U.S. and Cuba. Hello, that happened. That was a big thing. That is going to help Cuba out in so many ways. And I know what a lot of people are thinking out there. Oh, we don't really need to help Cuba. They harbor terrorists. If you think that Cuba's a terroristic threat, do yourself a favor. Get a rectal exam by a gorilla, okay? Just do yourself that favor, because you need to be enlightened in a lot of things in life if you think that country is harboring terrorists as a terroristic threat to us. Grant, if this was 1972, your argument would be valid. If this was 1982, your argument may have some validity. 1994, what are you talking about, man? I don't get it. Fidel was in a tracksuit in 1994, just hanging out. He wasn't in the military fatigues. World's got problems, and America has problems too. I wonder how we look into world news when we have our own police force gunning down people in the street. And granted, it's not every cop. That's the one thing that I need to stress about this too. When I say the police force, there's a few cops out there that are just trigger happy, or have bad nerves, or haven't properly been vetted for the position that they're in and to serve to protect the people. Yeah, there's some gray areas going on out there. It's not all police, it's not all the citizen, but we all need to be better people all around. We need to just sit back and think about that for a second. Like, in this year, we've established more boundaries for ourselves than we ever had before. Like, I can remember growing up, there wasn't a lot of talk about homosexuality or racial tension or anything like that. And I knew gay people growing up. My mom had black friends. I'm part Hispanic. Screw the Jews. No, I'm kidding. But no, we had Jewish friends. But still, like, now it seems like there's a lot of boundaries. Like, the more freedoms we supposedly have, more boundaries were set up for us. Why? Why did we do that to ourselves? Why do we label ourselves and put ourselves in boxes? When do we become Americans? When do we become Americans that have, yes, we do have pride in where our ancestors came from. But really, do we have pride where our ancestors came from? If my family were to come from Cuba 500 years ago when it was just a colony from Spain or just an island, yeah, I probably wouldn't care too much about my family. They would be established in America. But there's a lot of people in this country that have been here for generations and they still hold on to heritages and mottos from their old world that don't make any sense in ours. That's why it's called the old world. This is the new. We have to be the example for the rest of the world. And meanwhile, New Zealand's kicking our ass in that example. Granted, you don't want to go there because all they're going to do is film Lord of the Ring movies while you're there. And then if you go to Australia, the kangaroos have learned jiu-jitsu. What the hell is that about? Kangaroos doing jiu-jitsu? That's something I discovered in 2014. You got kangaroos choking out other kangaroos. Why isn't Dana White booking that in the octagon? How come last night I had to watch John Jones versus Daniel Cormier, but I couldn't watch John Jones fight a kangaroo? Kangaroo would whip his ass. He could bounce himself on a tail, do a double kick. We don't see that shit in the UFC. No one's bouncing themselves on a tail. 2015 is going to be a fun year, though. I'm really excited for it. I mean, right now, Russia is on the brink of economic collapse. Man, can you feel it? Can you feel Putin just blood boiling? Lenin's going to rise from his tomb. Putin's going to grow a Stalin stash. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Anything else going on that's going to carry over in a big way that I can think of right now? No, I do not. But Mike Huckabee just announced his candidacy, I guess, nomination or whatever, to be running for president. Really? That guy? The governor of what? Arkansas, whatever? I can't pronounce that state. I dropped out of high school. I'm not gonna lie, kids. Stay in school. This way you can pronounce it. Arkansas. Yeah, the election season's gonna be great. And that's why we're gonna talk about a lot more on iOS this year. We're actually gonna go in depth, talk about candidates, things of that nature. You're gonna have a lot of fun with it. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Maybe some debating between me and Dan. Maybe some debating between myself and other people. Who knows? But it's gonna be a fun time. I can assure you that. So with that, I'd like to leave you with this. Hey, gas prices are under $2, under $3 a gallon right now, aren't they? This little time capsule thing, this way we can look back in 6 months when they're up to $4 a gallon because we're going to war with fucking, I don't know, South America over some bullshit that doesn't matter, that no one even brought up yet. I'm tired. Movies I'm looking forward to in 2015. Star Wars. Fuck yeah. Friday the 13th. Coming out November 13th. Hell yeah. And of course, Avengers 2. Peace, love, and lollipops. Dan?
Well, thanks, Tony. And I too think it's about time that we allow that terrorist Cuba to be more integrated. Christ's sake. We borrow enough money from China and they're not too nice to their people, are they? Cracker, please. Well, that about wraps up tonight's show. Again, see you later 2014. I hope many of you, or if not all of you, have a much better 2015 store ahead. And tell your friends about us. Get them viewing the iOS news. And get us that nomination we're so seeking for the Wit Out Awards. It's a local Philadelphia award. We'll be there. But until next week, this is Dan Mahan from the iOS News signing off. And I want to say thanks to Smarmy, thanks to Tony, and thanks to Darren. And next week we look forward to a full cast and crew back here at the iOS News Sunday paper program. Good night.